This is audio narration for Design Review 1. This is the meat of Design Review 1. I'll be discussing certain sections separately as we go along through this PowerPoint slide. This is the top 3 components of your Design Review 1. The first one is a team design. So I'd like to see some type of team design concept in your journal. That would be anyone's engineering journal that you're going through. The next, I'd like a step-by-step of how the marble is going to travel through each component. So if you say you start out with a funnel, so marble start, 1, to 2, funnel, to 3, straightaway at some angle, to 4, 360 loop, radius of blah, 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 etc. as you go through it. Maybe you've got a corkscrew or whatever, but a step-by-step is going to help you when you're designing the rest of your roller coaster. The next is discussion. Pretty much, I need to see minimum required of some of the components that are built. Now, that kind of goes along with the photograph of the prototype being built and tested. So here's what I think you should do. I need a photograph. Say you probably are building some with, say you've got a straightaway at an angle going into a 360 loop. Take a photograph of that. Tell me what materials you're using. Tell me what angle it is at. Tell me the radius of the particular 360 loop. And then, what did you test? What size marbles did you test? Etc., etc. So that'll be good for you guys because I know you've done some of your testing. The third thing that you see is sketches. And they don't necessarily have to be front, top, and side. We've had some pretty good sketches with isometrics if you would like to do that, kind of showing it. But at least I want to see a front and then what's going to be after that. That's really important when you start looking at the whole configuration of your 11 by 17. These are the second 2 parts of the Design Review 1. Now we've already talked about adjusting our footprint. So we have a fairly large footprint. So you need to kind of justify why we went to that large footprint. Maybe it's for aesthetic purposes, but it's something you might want to check. Your loop diameters. Remember I talked about having those photographs of certain components. Obviously you can't build the whole thing, but you can have about 3 components that you might want to test. One would be like a straightaway at an angle going into a 360 loop. Obviously you've got diameters for those loops, you've got angles, you've got length for those straightaways. The other piece of component that you might want to test also is maybe your hills and dips, how well the marble stayed in, if you have to build it up with the structure, maybe a wall here or there. Kind of test that out. The third part to test would be something like when you do a 180 or one of those curved banks, change directions, maybe even your corkscrew. So again, you would have what's the direction of the changing of that 180, maybe banking of the curve, maybe you need to put the another little wall or retention type of thing for your marble. So I want you to consider that. So when you're looking at this part of the specification of components, dimensions, angles, etc., and what you're using, paper, manila folders, regular poster board, I want you to consider that length, height, angles, etc. The next part is documentation. Really goes back to, again, the photographs. So you could take that JPEG picture, put it in a Word doc, and then write your test data, angles, lengths, etc. How successful you were and what results you got. Maybe timing, maybe something as simple. We needed to put a retaining wall because it was banked at 30 degrees. We need to change that to a 45-degree banking. Something to that effect. So remember, I've already suggested about 3 component types that you need to test. So I'd expect at least 3 photographs and 3 test results. The second is updating your task list. That was something you had to do and turn into me last week. So again, I want to see those updated. see what else you need to have. Last but not least, you need to also update that workbook, those Excel worksheets, your meetings, your times, your members' times, etc. For you guys who are on the hybrid in this class, I especially want to see those meetings and what kind of things that you did in those meetings. This is the last part of Design Review 1. You're going to have to briefly tell me if any difficulties occurred. Say you're having trouble with team members, and basically what you're going to do about it. This is very important to tell me if you're having trouble meeting, etc. Because I'm going to go with every single group and talk to just that group. So I need to kind of have a record of what's happening. If you are behind, I need to know what you're going to do to make up that time. Maybe have more meetings, etc. Nonetheless, you need to tell me if you are behind. Be honest, because all the way, no matter what you do, it's going to be troublesome. Whether you're behind or not, you still tell me what you need, the team, what you're going to be working on next, what kind of difficulties you may have at that point, etc. Last but not least, I'm going to expect a peer review received from all members. This basically will be just an assignment. You can do this at your home after the class, but I want to see how you resolve or how everybody's working. I won't give you this final grade until I have all the peer reviews in. So it's very important that all members get your peer review in on time. If you have any other questions, email me. This is the last of Design Review 1.